Hey, how's it guys? Today it's the 9th of July and we are visiting Moegatle today. And officially, this is the first time that we can remove our masks. So don't tell anyone that we've been naughty all the time. Anyway, it's quite early in the morning. Half of my camera crew is still asleep. But nevertheless, we are on our way. It's just past 4 o'clock and we're going to enjoy this day. This time we are visiting Moegatle, and as you can see, there's some real rough terrain obstacles. So watch this episode, you will not be disappointed. Grab a cold one, relax and enjoy. Alright, so we're starting off with our first obstacle. It's dongas, so there's no specific line, everyone chooses their own line. So we'll just have to see what comes out of this. Enjoy the space.
Joining me today in the bush is Ferdi Teleskort. Now Ferdi is quite familiar with the bush in the sense of camping, game driving, fishing and so on. However, this is the first time he's experiencing the bush in this way. He told me he's ready for today, so let's see if he really is.
The biggest thing that you need to be careful for here is everything is loose, so traction can be a big problem here.
Now this is a privilege for me to introduce you to a Cape Townian who visits us today here at Moegatle. This is Zak with his very capable 80 series Land Cruiser. And the boots on this guy is 33-inch Beef Goodrich Mud-Terrain tires. And with the high ground clearance of this capable vehicle, he still struggles to get through all these humps and knobs on this donga section. And another guy who is familiar with Moegatle is Bram de Beer with his 80 series cruiser called Little Bear. Bram decided to go into the same direction as Zak did. However, his approach was quite different and way more technical. This little bear is also fitted with 33-inch Mud-Terrain tires, and this vehicle is extremely capable. However, with all the loose pebbles on this terrain, you really need to have traction. And this is exactly where driver and vehicle needs to meet each other.
ander kant toe.
One thing about these dongas, you are guaranteed to lose traction every now and then. And then it's up to the driver to make sure that he chooses the correct line to go through this one. What I like about what Bram did now is he tried this obstacle without lockers first, ending up burning some rubber, and then he engaged his lockers.
As hy Chris,
As hy ekie.
ons is nou hierso by Moegatle se eerste obstacle hierdie by die dongas. En jy's nou hierso vir die eerste keer met jou nuwe FJ Cruiser.
Ja.
En hierdie dongas het redelike rowwe axle twisters.
Dis alright. Ek dink dit kan ek doen. Ek het rock sliders opgesit dat ek hierdie magie kan stuur. Lekker oulike rock slider. Volgende ding moet ek my replacement bumper opsit en dit is 'n ander dag gebeur. So ek kan nie daai kwaai goed doen wat my neus gaan skuur nie. Ek sal maar eers weer rustig gaan.
Maar die goed wat die neus gaan skuur gaan maak dat ons vinniger die replacement bumper kry.
Ja.
Ek saam is moenie onbeïnvloed nie.
En dit vat net soveel dan dan vat ek die verkeerde besluit.
Alright, nou hoe voel jy oor die axle twisters?
Ja, ek dink ek is alright daar.
Alright.
Ek is gewoond aan my Hilux altyd en hy was goed. Ja, ek dink hierdie ding sal dit maak.
Het ons lokkers in?
Ja, lockers en al die ander slim goed wat hierdie mooi karre het.
Okay.
So ek dink dit is reg.
Alright. Kom ons kyk hoe flex hy.
Ja.
One thing about 4x4ing is sometimes you need diff lock, sometimes you need the correct line, and sometimes you just need momentum. Another familiar face that doesn't need any introduction is Crazy Chris. He used to drive his Hilux and now, only for the second time, is in the bush with his new FJ Cruiser. The previous time, Mommy drove. This time, there's no Mommy. Let's see how crazy Chris will be with it.
Kom ons hulle gebou het.
Ja.
That's why we built it.
Dankie Kenny.
Daar's
Pivot opkom sis. Groot member. Ja.
Daar gaan hy. Nee, okay. Is goed. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Say. Ja.
Ai, behoort te
Ai. Bietjie meer, ja.
Ja. Hier weer aan. Dan volgende keer meer goed, ja.
This is still quite early in the day, so Crazy Chris is not crazy yet. He's still waking.
Okay. Rechts en gaan. Ja. Okay,
Skerp.
And this time we have another familiar face. This is Stefanus Ferreira with his Chevy Trailblazer called Scumse Beast. And new to the Bosryers, we have Lawrence Kriel with his Land Rover Defender. He decided to take his family on a fun-filled adventure with the Bosryers here at Moegatle. Taking point today, we have Clive Marks from Moegatle driving his extremely capable Stiefkut. Alright, so quite early in the day already, I decided to take care of the cameraman on one obstacle for a spin. So let's see how they enjoy it.
Can we get up there? Oh, yes. It's almost going to roller coaster and going with. Alright, let's try another line. You can make it like.
I went flat down on my belly as soon as I hit the top. Oh well, a few attempts, but eventually I got the right line. Taking on the second obstacle, we have Jacques Leroux with his stock standard Hilux called Bosryers. This 3.8 litre V6 Jeep is called Doorskill, and we have Brandon Daly behind the steering wheel. Right, okay nie. Ons is hier op hierdie klein obstakeltjie in die middel van Lovers Lane. Jy het 'n two-wheel drive. Hoe voel jy oor hom?
Nee. Dat is. Jy kom hier vlieg goed.
Dan vlieg ons hom uit.
Ja, ek draai net vlieg goed.
Belinda, hoe voel jy oor hom?
Ek is 'n bietjie senuweeagtig, maar oké.
Dis nie jou eerste keer, jy moenie worry nie.
Is daarom nog nie Alexander nie.
Alright, maar jy's veilig al 'n rolliebuggy, nie?
Ja.
Daar's dit. Daar's dit. And another guy who does not need any introduction is Peter Johnson with a famous Lowlands. Andrew. Right, ons het 'n eerste moeilike obstakeltjie. Hy's wel nie baie lank nie, maar hy is lekker styl. Jy's hier met jou Isuzu?
Ek worry meer oor die lengte van die bakkie.
Jy
gaan inpas.
When in doubt, floor it out. Dis mos maar die maklikste.
Maar
So, hoe voel jy oor hom?
ek weet nie, ek sal jy daar bo sê.
Wonderlik.
Ja.
Ek wag vir jou antwoord.
Ja.
Zak, jy besoek ons hier by Moegatle al die pad van die Kaap af.
Ja,
Wonderlik man. Is dit die eerste keer hier?
eerste keer op Moegatle.
Ah, sy. Nou hierdie eerste obstakeltjie, ag nee, tweede obstakeltjie bedoel ek. Is nou nie iets major nie, maar hy's lekker styl en hy is moeilik.
Ja,
Maar
kom so.
jy het 'n baie capable voertuig.
Ons gaan
So.
nou uit vandag.
Daar's hy. Hoe voel jy oor hom?
Oh, vat hom soos hy kom. Vat hom soos hy kom.
Daar's hy. Vat hom Fluffy. Lekker en jy Bram?
Ja, rustig.
Mooi, mooi. Alright. Is dit jou eerste keer hier by Moegatle nie, nee?
Nee, dis nie my eerste keer nie. Ek het al hier gery. Ja.
Alright. So jy ken min of meer wat om te doen, wat om nie te doen nie.
Ja, ek hoop so.
Alright, vertel ons gou van die voertuig.
80 series Land Cruiser twin lock op 33.
Daar sy.
En FT motor.
Fantasties. Alright, hoe voel jy oor hierdie obstakeltjie?
Ja, voet in die hoek. Maar net kyk, ek sien hy's lekker glad. Hierdie maweltjies maak dit nogal interessant.
Alright. Vat hom vas, ons kyk vir jou.
Hi Lawrence.
Yes.
Jy is jou eerste keer hier saam met ons by die Bosryers, baie welkom. En vertel ons gou van jou voertuig.
Dis my Land Rover Defender. Maar bietjie skrikkerig vir hierdie obstacle want ek is bekommerd oor hierdie kleintjies agterin, maar verder geniet ons dit baie.
Alright, as ek kan raad gee, maak dit net 'n reguit lyn. Sit die linkerwiel op die knop bo, regterwiel net so buite die rad en gee net genoeg momentum om uit te kom.
Kijk, kom zo.
Alright, let's see if the crazy beast inside Crazy Chris woke up. Let's see, let's have a look.
Letterlik van die afkant maar hom regs. Maak reg met jou wiel, bietjie regs. Daar's hy net so. Yes. Miller, baie welkom hier so weer eens hier by dis nie die eerste keer by die Bosryers nie. So jy's so onbekend met hoe ons dinge doen nie.
Ja, ons het uitgesien na die dag en weer tyd dat jy 'n bietjie bos toe kan.
Daar's hy. Nou praat jy mos nou mooi dinge.
Ja.
Alright.
Ja.
Nou eerste keer dat ek jou met 'n sonbril sien, ek wonder of daar goeie rede is daarvoor.
Ja, nee. Ons moet ter rooi.
Alright. Laat ons sien wat jy doen.
It's quite interesting to see how the various types of drivers takes this obstacle quite differently, from a crawling method straight through to flat out momentum.
Right guys, so the obstacle we're facing now, there's three options. So the first one on the left has got a heavy one to the left, then there's a medium one to the right, and then there's quite a heavy one to the far right again. So I'm going to take the most extreme line first and see how far we get. This is kind of a serious off-camber that catches you off guard.
A couple of things that I can say about this specific obstacle is, first of all, you are guaranteed to have loose ground underneath your wheels. Secondly, you are guaranteed to have a couple of wheel lifts. And thirdly, you are guaranteed to make this obstacle only if you use momentum regardless of your vehicle's capabilities.
Daar is hy. Rustig.
And then of course, the thing that I like the most about this obstacle is the fact that there's such a variety of different lines that you can choose from, different ways you can do it, and different directions that you can do it. So this obstacle is one of my favorites. Pretty much the one thing that you definitely need here is your commitment. So once you commit, you will go through.
Want as jy wil vat, skuif jou voertuig bietjie en vang hom net 'n bietjie skuins.
En jy daai kant op gaan.
Nee,
Hierso. Okay. Ja, nou is jy vas. Ja, jy gaan.
Ek sal vir jou sê stop. Van. Kyk, gaan begin drop. Stop van hier af.
Net daar, ja.
Mooi momentum.
Gooi hom, steek hom.
Wat gaan al bo aan? Ek reg draai.
Ja, hier is 'n klein dippie.
Maar net op boek.
Ja. Okay, last say. Well done. Well done.
One thing about any obstacle is if you take it on a crawling method, most of the time it's actually more difficult to go through because of traction, etc, etc. However, one thing I can say about Miller is he always tries a crawling method first, regardless of how difficult it is. And then only when necessary, he does give a bit of money.
Niks kans hier. Just a little small axle twisty that we found along the way. So
Got to take out the cameraman.
One of the things that I love the most about Moegatle is the fact that there's so many different obstacles that it's just impossible to go through of them in one day. You'll literally need a whole week to go through them all. However, this specific obstacle where we are now can easily catch you off guard, especially if you have a vehicle that does not have a lot of flex. So if you do have a vehicle with a lot of flex, this one is quite easy. But without flex, guys, the wheels are going quite high.
Kom. Klein bietjie reg. Kom nie te veel in gaan, nie te veel in nie. Jy gaan ja, hou daar. Okay. Gaan net 'n bietjie reg. Gaan bietjie links. Okay. Dankie Jaco.
With the correct line, you can lift your wheels quite high.
Fire up. Klein bietjie na reg. Wat sê? Stadig. Kyk, hou so, gaan stadig. Wat sê jy hier? Alright, stadig.
One thing about this specific obstacle that can make a driver nervous is that dramatic lean to the right. that can easily make you feel like you're going to go straight into the bushes.
Okay, nou bietjie meer regs. Daar's hy net stil. Daar's hy, so, nou. Okay, links, gaan links.
Right guys, so the section where we are now is quite a tricky section, and it's filled with humps and loose sand and off camber, and so yeah, this one is going to be fun.
This obstacle where we are now quite similar to dongas. However, this specific space is created by erosion and have a lot of off-camber sections, so you can easily slip into a rut and find yourself in a position where you don't want to be. However, we all know Peter Johnson. He is one of the drivers that I look up to, that takes difficult obstacles with a lot of confidence, and you can clearly see why. He knows his story behind the steering wheel. And then of course the one guy that we all love is Kenny with an epic buck, taking on each and every obstacle quite fearlessly. Remember guys, Kenny built this epic buck himself with his own two hands, and he had one goal regarding this epic buck, and that was that he can prove that he can go anywhere with his 2x4 epic buck that any normal standard 4x4 vehicle can go. And so far he did damn good. This specific spot where we are now was not part of the route that we had planned out for the day. However, while most of the guys were busy with the obstacle called Oreiperd, we decided that we're going to play around and mess around and so forth, and this was the result of our actions. And as you can see, this little obstacle turned out to be quite a gem. I attempted this obstacle first, however my first approach was way too slow. Second time round, I did it with way more momentum. Yeah, still not going anywhere. Zak and Bram also took on this obstacle with their 80 series cruisers. However, it is quite evident that this obstacle is not for a long wheelbase vehicle. Miller took on this obstacle next with his Jeep, well, with bigger wheels, higher ground clearance and a shorter wheelbase, so this vehicle is definitely capable enough for this obstacle. However, with all the capabilities of this vehicle, sometimes momentum is your friend.
Nou op.
Jy gaan nou opklim op die wortel. Jy gaan nou hier opklim. Hy wil. That's Malus.
And Peter is taking this obstacle next with a capable vehicle and to correct momentum, and he flies through without any issues.
Stay up, Peter.
And then of course we have the fearless Kenny coming in with a home-built epic buck and doing what Kenny does best.
Yeah! Well done!
Still leading the pack, we have Clive first up at a Raypad with his brown 80 series called Stiefkind. The previous time I was at this obstacle, I lost half of my cooler box. Luckily this time, my canopy was properly closed. However, the only way I took this obstacle was flat out momentum. Brandon taking this obstacle next with door skill. Brandon took on a Raypad without any assistance first, and then after a while we decided let's assist him, and he went through quite easy. When Brandon's mom wanted to climb out of the vehicle, he decided no way. He's making a U-turn and taking his mom back down again.
Alright, draai links. Links, links, draai. Yes, net so. Start up, start up, start up. That's beautiful, hoor. Bietjie rechts, 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 rechts. Afsy.
Bram took on this obstacle next with Little Bear, and as we have seen by now, everything here at Moegatle is quite loose, so you need a bit of momentum here and there. However, he did engage his diff lock and he still went through quite easy. And here we have Miller again, never backing out on any challenge whatsoever. And this time the challenge he's facing is doing this obstacle on a crawling method. Eventually, the obstacle won and he had to put his foot down. The nice thing about 4x4ing in general is there's never only one option. Andre Swarts took White Lion on a completely different approach, and he succeeded on this obstacle quite beautifully. There is a reason why Peter and Lolax is such a legendary team. Obstacle after obstacle after obstacle, you can clearly see the harmony between driver and vehicle, as Peter always approaches an obstacle with just the correct momentum. And Zak also did a pretty good job coming in with just the perfect timing on when to put his throttle down. And of course, when the boys can see a playground, nothing can stop them from playing. Katrijn, shh, you're going to wake Ferdi up.
Hey guys, so the obstacle we're taking now, first of all we're going to take it down and then we're going to make a U-turn and take it back up again.
Oh my
So
goodness.
it's a huge axle twisting with huge ruts.
Ferdi once told me a while ago that whenever he stresses, he starts singing. And this is quite
So low drop.
Oh yeah. Wow.
This specific obstacle is one of those that is not made by man. It's one of those that's made by erosion, and eventually it became a track as the guys with the different vehicles took it on. What's nice about this specific obstacle is the fact that you have a lot of axle twisting with deep ruts, and that makes it quite interesting because again, even though it is narrow, there's still various line options that you can choose from.
Those are good.
One thing you need to be careful of though is the fact that you still do need momentum in some cases. However, too much momentum will absolutely damage your vehicle. Bram took on this obstacle with Little Bear without any lockers to see how he can do through these axle twisting, ditches, ruts, etc, etc. So let's see how he does. Overall, I think Bram did a pretty good job on this obstacle. Unfortunately, the last bit of the obstacle, he had to engage the lockers. And up next we have Brandon with his Jeep called Doorskill taking on this obstacle. Now remember, Mommy is still in the vehicle, and what I love about the fact that Mommy is here is no matter how daring the obstacle, she's in it.
kant toe. Kijk er net so. Hy net jou throttle, hy net jou throttle so. Hou net. Nog 'n bietjie daai kant toe. Hou net. Hou net. Nog 'n bietjie die kant toe. Nog 'n bietjie. Hou net. Nog daai kant toe.
And we all know Kenny with his epic buck. However, this time it's not an epic buck, it's a miracle buck. Kenny went down this obstacle alone, and somewhere along the line, there's a passenger that magically appeared. Clearly you can see as Zak is going down this obstacle, he also knows what he's doing by choosing the correct line, having steady momentum, etc, etc. So yes, this is definitely not so difficult for Zak. As Zak is also taking this obstacle back up, again you can see his momentum is quite steady and he's choosing a good line. So yes, definitely he is doing quite good. However, this last piece on this obstacle is catching most of the drivers off guard, where you either need to change your line completely, have more momentum, or activate your lockers. As Miller is coming down with the grey Rhino, it's quite nice to see how the flex on this vehicle makes his approach quite differently. Although Grey Rhino has got a huge amount of flex, these ruts are so deep that even Grey Rhino is lifting some wheels, so that gives you a pretty good indication of how deep these ruts really are. As Peter is going down this obstacle, he's got one goal and one goal only in mind, and that is to see how high he can lift the wheel on low lux. So let's hold thumbs, let's watch this and see if he can reach his goal. Now remember that goal we spoke of, so Peter is approaching this rut on an angle, and let's see how it does. Peter is doing it. Well done, Peter. And of course, this specific obstacle is not meant for Crazy Chris's brand new vehicle. However, Crazy Chris cannot leave an obstacle alone, so he had to take it no matter what. But luckily, he went to Tybos first to get those new rock sliders on his vehicle, so that he can take these obstacles without damaging his vehicle. Even though Andrew and his white lion is with the Bosryers for the very first time, he does not back out of any challenge whatsoever, and I must say I take my hat off for him because he really does extremely well with his Isuzu. And we found the road less traveled by. Unfortunately, it was a little bit overgrown, and Miller had the correct tools with him to chop it open a bit for us so that we don't have any trees damaging any vehicles.
Dankie Miller.
And there's a reason why this is the road less traveled by. Miller took this on first and he showed us exactly how to do it. So it starts off with a steep uphill, then it's a downhill, then it's an uphill again, and somewhere in the hills you make a U-turn and you take the same road back again. And Brandon took on this obstacle with a deep track rut secondly with his Jeep. Unfortunately, his standard size wheels fell victim to the deep track ruts.
Ja, gaan terug, dan begin jy net oor, jy het momentum nodig. Ja, seker reg, draai hom. Hou daai.
On his second attempt, he was quite cautious for too much momentum, and unfortunately the momentum he gave was just not enough.
Hi, Dad.
Ek wil net sê, julle moet ons gebruik.
And Peter also took on this challenge with low lucks, and unfortunately his momentum was just not enough the first time, so he went back and attempted for the second time. On the second time his momentum was more than enough, however he still got stuck on his dips. Bram knew, he just knew that he won't be able to succeed through those deep ruts. So he decided that he's going to the top of this hill on a completely different route. What do you think, guys? Is this a good option or not a good option? Let's see. I told you guys, Crazy Chris just cannot say no, he needs to attempt it. Zak also took this obstacle and ended up exactly on the same spot as everyone else does before he got stuck. When Zak came down, he listened to some good advice. Well done, Zak. You are the first one with standard ground clearance on your vehicle that made it to the top. However, you're not done yet. Let's see how you do further on. Clearly this obstacle is not meant for long wheelbase vehicles. Zak got hung up between his two bumpers. On this specific spot where Zak managed to get himself stuck, it was quite a predicament for us on how are we going to manage to recover him.
Recovery!
Since we almost had no vehicles whatsoever that can reach that point to begin with, we had to come up with a plan B. Luckily, we had Stiefkind with us. Now, Stiefkind is a brown cruiser with his abnormally huge wheels, making this vehicle so capable that he could come from the opposite direction of this obstacle so that we can recover Zak to the front. Thank you very much, Clive. The ground where Zak got stuck is so soft that his vehicle completely submerged into the ground flat down on his belly that they even struggled with a winch to pull him out. Eventually they turn Stiefkind around so that they can pull Zak out with proper horsepower. This obstacle where we are now is called Qua Clim. However, many people refer to this as Qua Clim, but that doesn't matter, it's still the same obstacle. And the first person in our group to take it on is Miller with Grey Rhino. And needless to say, his vehicle is so capable, we don't have any doubts. And of course we have Chris, who does not back out of a challenge, which I have a lot of respect for. So let's see how he does. On his first attempt, he didn't go that well, he lost traction. However, he is back for round number 2. Although he did change his strategy, Chris still didn't manage to get any traction whatsoever. So let's see, attempt number 3. Chris is not satisfied with the results of attempt number 3 as well. So then, the crazy button got switched on. He changed his strategy completely, more momentum, different line, and he goes all the way to the top. Well done, Chris! And we came to the point where this is the highlight of the day for Bram, taking on Qua Clim for the very first time ever. Let's see how he does. Well done, Bram, for the very first time that you're attempting this obstacle. You did it excellently. You're going all the way to the top. This is one momentous moment for you. Well done. Congratulations, dude. And we have the fearless Kenny with the epic buck without any low range. Yo, let's see. Oh, bugger me, but he almost gave us a heart attack there. We have to look at this again.
Yeah.
And Andrew is ready to roar with his white lion, so let's see how he does on this uphill.
Well done!
And also for the very first time on Qua Clim, Andrew, you did extremely well. Well done, Boot. I am impressed. And Zak is ready to take on Qua Clim with his 80 series. Let's see how he does. Attempt number 1 didn't go as planned, so let's see how he does on attempt number 2. Again, not satisfied with the results, Zak is taking on Qua Clim for attempt number 3. Unfortunately, the lockers on the cruiser didn't engage and he couldn't find the necessary traction, but well done for trying, Zak. Peter is also taking on Qua Clim with Lolux. However, Lolux does have one big disadvantage, and it's that it's a carburetor vehicle. So we don't know how far Lolux will be able to go before the carburetor runs out of fuel. Even though Lolux is extremely capable in almost every situation, sometimes you do find the one obstacle where your vehicle is not built for that obstacle. However, I need to say well done for attempting it anyway. Remember, what goes up needs to come down. It's not only the uphill that's quite scary on Qua Clim, but also the downhill. So let's welcome back all our victorious participants who made it all the way to the top and still needs to make it back safely down to the ground.
Lekker weer left. Well done. Well done, Chris. Daar sê Crazy Chris, daar sê. Baie mooi.
And of course, you are not allowed to say goodbye to Moegatle without complying to the tradition, and that is a couple of donuts before you leave.
Maar ek het twee by my, mamma moet een by mamma hê. Dis so. Dis net die lyk my is klaar die. Nee, daar is nie. Maak my eie koeke maar kan.
Right, so the section where we are now is quite a tricky section. Section rather. Wag, ek begin eerder voor. Right guys, so the section where we are now is quite a tricky section.
Stay tuned for a couple of scenes from our next adventure that took place at Barak.